Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center. Here to congratulate you on your Keystone Bullet 1900 RD. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to take into consideration when you're parking. On your campsite, leave plenty of room for that awning. On your off campsite, I really just want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. The power is going to be behind your tire, and then your water is going to be toward the front of the unit. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities. Once we arrive, unhook our hitch, we'll level our unit with our little hand crank. It's a light unit, so you can bring this up and down pretty easily. To the right we'll bring it up, to the left we'll bring it down. Once you got it level, next thing we'll do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit got these scissor stabilizing jacks. Now before I start running them down, I'm going to recommend jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris. It better distributes the weight. And also in the summertime, you get to some of these camps that got hot blacktop. Put them down, keep them from sinking into the blacktop. So good investment. Use your 10% off coupon. Grab a 4-pack of those. You can use a drill gun or an impact driver. But as you see, just in a couple seconds I've been talking to you, I was able to run them down by hand. Run them down just until they're taut. Once it feels like it's going to start lifting the unit, stop. Remember, it's already level. We just want to stabilize it. So go ahead and get all 4 of them down. 2 in the front, 2 back here. Got the unit level and stable. We can hook up your power and water. So you have a big long 30 amp cord here. Plugs in here on the side. Plugs in, say at about, it'll wiggle in about straight up. Once it's in there, turn it to the right and that'll lock it in. And then put your gray washer on there and that'll lock that on there for you. At the end of that, should you ever need to plug into a 110, in your convenience pack will be a 30 to 15 amp reducer. Get your power hooked up. Let's hook up your water. At campsites, we are going to hook up to city water connection. Most importantly, a water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. Always use these because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. Hook that up. Hook up your hose. Don't turn your hose on yet. Right here's your hot water heater. All you want to do at this point is make sure that this knob is back down where it was. You may have opened this up, just draining the residual water out of this last time you were camping, so make sure that's down so your water won't just drain out of there. And go ahead and turn that hose on. After that hose has been on a few minutes, go inside, open up all of your water taps, start your sinks, your showers, get a nice steady flow of water going through them, all the air out of the lines, shut them off, and you're all set to camp. Now let's say we're going to go dry camping, we're not going to be at a campsite. In that case, we're going to fill up our freshwater tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here. You can just gravity fill this with a hose. 2 ways to tell it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right here, or 2 on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on it when you're filling it. Don't leave it unattended. Once it's full, remove that hose, put that cap on there, and then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump and hook the city water. That's already pressurized. Alright, we're all set to camp. We got power and water, level and stable. Let me go ahead and walk you around the rest of the outside before going indoors. Big pass-through storage. Again, our fresh and city water, our fresh drain, our low point drains. Black tank flush, we'll talk about that when leaving the campsite and dumping our black and gray tanks. Flue for your furnace. A few things on that. 1, make sure it's never blocked. 2, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of it. It does get hot. And we sell bug guards that'll go over top of those. Good investment. Here's where you hook up your cable at your campsites or a satellite. If you have one of those. Your power again. Little storage area back here. This is where you'll store your sewage hose. stinky slinky container we call it. I'll get this open with 2 hands. I recommend getting a cover for this. Last thing you need to do is have a blowout. Your spare tire will be all dry rotted from years of sitting in the sun. So get a cover for that. Keep an eye on that. Make sure that stays good. Keystone does sell a backup camera for this unit. So I'll prep for that up there. Your awning, a little windy right now, so I didn't run it out. I'll run it back out here in a minute. 110 out here in case you want to hook something up. Big pass-through storage with your hitch work in here. Could also invest in maybe a little cover for this. They do sell fabric ones that you can put over this. Power, make sure your batteries haven't wiggled loose over time. Check them out every now and then. That's your battery disconnect. That will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. Lefty loosey to open to turn these on. That about covers everything out here. Let's take a look on the inside. Alright, coming up beside unit, first thing I always like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of an emergency. Up top here is going to be control panel. So up here we got our brand new battery, fresh water. That's the button to hold down to when you're filling your freshwater tank, your black and gray levels. Down here is where you turn on the water pump to get to that fresh water. Interior lighting and awning lighting. Now my awning. A couple things on your awning. Let's start with your door can't be any more than 45 degrees. If it's past that, you can't run your awning out. So make sure you have it at this angle when bringing it in and out. Also, you're only going to want to run this out until the flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see your bar. If I were to hold extend down past that point, it would flip up onto itself and start to run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you're running out. Make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. If you see your bar and the flap hasn't fallen, run it backwards. Sometimes the humidity will get it to catch. There you go. And there's your flap. That's as far as you want to run that. Again, if I continue to do that, it's going to flip up onto itself and roll itself up backwards, which is not good for your awning. So keep an eye on it when you run it out. Run it out only as far as you need to. People do leave these out in rain. I recommend not. I mean, I have yet to see very sturdy awnings built to the strength of strong storms. So bring them in high winds and storms. Save yourself the trouble and save your awning's life. Close that up. Shut off the awning lights and tell you these doors work best when gently slammed. Alright, coming up, continuing in the unit, we've got a self-explanatory microwave, fan or light. Let me show you. Fan or light. That's fan with light. Cooktop, stick lighter, turn it to light. Use your lighter and that'll light those up. One touch lighting up here. Your sink. Underneath here is an access panel, square head screw to your plumbing. It's almost all PEX nowadays. If you travel a lot in this, you're bouncing this up and down the road, just come in, check your fittings, keep an eye on things, make sure nothing's dripping. Moisture is the worst thing ever for your unit. Continuing in here, our entertainment center. I just want to tell you on your TV, when you arrive at the campsites, go into your home, run a digital channel scan, and you'll be able to pick up all the local channels of where you're at. You see there's also a safety strap, because this will come off here and swivel. You can pull it out and it'll swivel. So put that strap back on when you're traveling. Last thing about this, up here where your antenna goes in, your cable, that green light right there, that is your antenna. So make sure that light's on before you run your digital channel scan so you can pick up all the local channels. On your dinette, lift that tabletop off, lift them legs up out of those holes, set that tabletop back down onto these rubber stoppers. There's 6 of them around here. Then put your flat cushions on top and you've got a whole nother sleeping quarters. AC unit up here. Turn that on cool to the coolest. Here's a quick dump. Blast some cold air down through here. Your fridge controls are in here for your freezer. Up there for your fridge. Safety latch. Move that over when you're traveling. This won't bounce open on you. Down here's going to be our breaker box and fuses. We've got quite a variety there. We've got a 30, a 40, a couple of 15s. Highly recommend you have some of those with you when you go camping. Continuing down the hallway before going in the bathroom, I'll show you on the wall here. Down here, your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mentioned that's 12 volt, that's always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping with this, you're going to be gone for the day. You don't want this to run your battery down. Use that battery disconnect up front. Up here is your furnace. Crank that up. Now I'm going to show you when I shut that off. You're going to hear that's going to take a couple minutes to run through before that fan actually shuts off. About 2 minutes on your furnace. Up in our bathroom, we've got a hand crank open power exhaust vent in here. Lighting. And here's where, when full, you'll turn on your hot water heater. You'll find a comfortable temperature to set that at. Also, when you arrive, got your water hooked up, flush this several times, enough to get a couple gallons of water into your black tank. Your black tank will thank you later. Some more plumbing to keep an eye on. Access there as well as here. Access to your drain. 110 with GFCI reset in here. And lastly, brings us to our smoke alarm above our bedroom. There is some storage up underneath here. And one-touch lighting back here. I think that about covers everything in here. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. I like to start by just shutting off my interior lights. Then I can see individual lighting that I need to walk through and shut off. Safety strap here. Let me put your TV back. 2 hands on both sides will push that straight back against the wall. And then use your safety strap. The remote can travel nicely in there. Now I say doors and drawers. Walk through the unit, close all doors and drawers. Make sure nothing's going to be bouncing around as you're traveling. And exit the unit. Take your steps. Slide them up in there. Before you leave the dump station, and I say that because you're going to check the levels of your tanks as you travel, as you're dumping. But before you leave, lock and deadbolt your door. Alright, if we are out dry camping, we're going to bring up our stabilizing jacks. And we're going to get up underneath here, dump our freshwater tank, and head on home or to the nearest dump station, whatever we're in need of. If we're at a campsite, we're going to unhook our power, our water, our cable, bring up our stabilizing jacks, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is going to be on your driver's side of your tow vehicle, in front of your tires, and you got a 10-foot hose that comes in your convenience bag. Park accordingly, hook up your hose, and the first thing we're going to do is pull your right handle. It says that's your black tank, which means that's your sewage. Once this no longer sounds like it's draining, go inside, check the level of your black tank. If it shows empty or close to it, come back out here, leave that handle open, grab the hose at the dump station, and hook up to this tank flush valve. Again, emphasizing with that black handle open. Hook up your sewage hose, turn that on, and let that run for a good 5 minutes. That hose is going to wash out that nastiness in your black tank. When that's done, remove the hose. Make sure all that washout water you just put in there has drained, and then close your black handle and pull your gray tank. Usually while my gray tanks are draining, I'll dump my low point drains. If I'm done camping for a while and I don't want to leave any water in here, I'll come to my hot water heater here, press down on that pressure release valve. Some pressure is going to come out of there along with a little bit of hot water. Close that up. When that gray is no longer draining, you're going to close that gray tank, grab that sewage hose, and conveniently and sanitarily store that sewage hose right in there, your stinky slinky compartment, and head on home. Well, we want to thank you again for your purchase. We hope you enjoy this bullet for many years to come. Happy camping.